Alright, and we are live. Okay. So, lesson 4 is about feeders and outside branch circuits and outside feeders. Uh, Article 215 is the feeders article. And, yeah, let's get started with that. For your reference, these are the references. I found the electrical systems text, whenever they're having like detailed stuff to talk about, is a good reference for that stuff. The electrical systems text gets overlooked a lot. I've spent last week combing through it pretty extensively, and it's a good book. It's got a lot of extra questions, and then towards the back, it's got some code test study help. Like it's a really underrated book that I should use a lot more with you guys. Uh, so we have all circuit conductors between the service equipment, the source of a separately derived system, and other power supply source, and the final branch circuit is a feeder. This is in Article 100, the definition of a feeder. Next up, the minimum rating and size of feeders is covered in which of the following? Now that's obviously going to be 215. 215.2 is titled minimum rating and size. We're talking about feeders, so that's going to direct you to the feeders article. However you want to find yourself to the feeders article, using the index or the table of contents. Get yourself to the feeders article, and then it's right there. Trees are permitted to be used for support of overhead conductor spans of outside branch circuits and feeders. That doesn't even begin to sound acceptable. Yeah. If you want to know where that is, 225. 225. That's outside branch circuits and feeders. That's the article about outside branch circuits and feeders. So 225.26 is probably about supporting vegetation as support. It's a title right there, using vegetation as support, and it says absolutely under no circumstances. Festoon lighting shall be supported by messenger wire when spans are greater than. So festoon lighting is going to be in outside branch circuits. What festoon lighting is, let me show you a couple pictures. It's this. This is festoon lighting. It's a big white page. So all of this is festoon lighting. It's the stuff you see at Luke's when you go there that's just strung up. The Christmas lights, that's festoon lighting. And it has to be supported by messenger wire if you go further than 40 foot with your span. 225.6b. Point 6 is the festoon lighting. Or no, it's overhead spans and then festoon lighting. Alright. Question 5. Ground fault protection of equipment as specified there shall be provided for each feeder disconnect rated blank amps or more for solidly grounded Y systems with a voltage to ground in excess of 150 volts and not exceeding 600 volts line to line. That should be actually in. Oh, it's actually in 215. So this is talking about feeders. So that's what's going to direct you to 215. This word here, feeder. And then 215, once you get to 215, looking at feeders, point 6 is equipment grounding conductors. So the equipment grounding conductors for feeders is what you're going to be looking at. And it's in there. Let's see. Shall include or providing. I'm just checking a couple things. It doesn't say specifically there, but it does direct you to 250.134. 250, if you didn't know, is the grounding and bonding article. Point 134 is 130, 134. Okay. That is not 250.32 is the other spot that it sends you to. 250.32B is where I'm looking now. B, grounded systems supplied by a feeder or branch circuit. And we are just have to look through that for a minute. Ground fault protection of equipment as specified in 230.95 for each feeder disconnect rated 1000 amps or more. Sorry. You'll have to excuse me. I'm not seeing. Wait, there's a disconnecting means? I'm not seeing this one. Oh, it's because I was looking at 215.6, not the right spot, 215.10, which is what it says on the screen right there, is word for word. I've just been on the wrong, I've been 6 inches away from where I needed to be. Alright, GFCI protection must be provided for blanks that provide dishwashers installed in dwelling unit locations. That is outlets. The reason it is not receptacle outlets is because you can install a dishwasher. It's kind of like squares and rectangles. All squares are rectangles, but not all rectangles are squares. All receptacles are outlets, but not all outlets are receptacles. You do not have to have a receptacle at the dishwasher. It's the best way to do it, but you do not have to have a receptacle at the dishwasher. And you do have to provide GFCI protection for the dishwasher. Alright. Liquid tight, flexible, non-metallic conduit is permitted as a raceway for outside branch circuit conductors installed on the outside surface of a building were installed at 1,000 volts or below. So this is outside branch circuits, which was two. What was that? We were just there. 225, and we can look in there. Calculation of loads. This might actually be under the liquid type flexible metal conduit raceways on exterior surfaces. Is that? I don't know that that section is 225.10. Oh, wait, that's a different spot than where we were a minute ago. Okay, 225.10. I looked at that. Oh, it's 225.10 is just straight up a list of things you can use to wire outside. Type MC cable is there. Minimum rating and size of feeders is covered in which of the following? Well, that's obviously in 215. Minimum rating and size. So you can just flip to 215, and that really feels like it's going to be a title of a section. Minimum rating and size is 215.2. That's the title of 215.2. There you go. I'm going to stay live for a few more minutes just to finish out my 15 minutes. If anybody has any questions about where things were found, if you're having any issues with how we're doing things today, just let me know. And I can work to address those. This is a good chance. And for those of you that are watching, at the end of the day, I will be uploading a second or a final quiz with everything on it. So, yeah. So our next quiz is about services. Your answers for that quiz will be found in Articles 100, 110, and 230. And then a lot of that is going to be in Chapter 4 of the Electrical Systems text. Uh, if you haven't yet, I highly encourage you to open up that book and just give it a skim as you're going through this quiz. It's going to be a lot of help. I really feel like that. All right. If nobody has any questions, I'm going to end the stream here. Feel free to send me questions on the Discord server or leave it as a comment on this video. I'm getting emails about comments on these videos. Or just straight send it to me in Remind or through my text message. I'm constantly checking all of those. And yeah, give me a heads up. All right, thank y'all for coming.